Welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host Kevin, and this week we are beginning out over at Universal. Now we are on a bridge looking over the Interstate 4 here you can see, and this is the Cabana Bay Resort over in the distance. Actually, this is the part of the Cabana Bay Resort that's already been built, and here you can see several cranes sort of dominating the skyline here in the background because they've really just gone full bore building that budget hotel over at Universal. Now on our walk in through CityWalk, this sign was until recently a Harry Potter sign. Now it's a Transformer sign as you walk on your way in. And we are here looking at the Springfield area where I don't think I've noticed this sign previously. Either it wasn't there, I just didn't notice it the last time I was in the area visiting. And as you can see, it calls attention to the nuclear plant, which doesn't actually exist as seen here in Universal. Now what is new in the past week is these set of stanchions and barricades. They've got the car roped off. I guess people were climbing on top of the car as they're posing next to it. And the lights were on as well on the police car. Now, this was my first visit when Kang and Kodos was open. Now this is the spinner ride at the end of the Simpsons area. As you can see, there's the Simpsons simulator. And the Kang and Kodos Twirl and Hurl, it's called. A little bit of a tight walkway there. Obviously themed to the aliens from the Simpsons movie series. And you can see they've got some nice quirky touches, such as how many baby aliens tall you have to be to ride. Here's the actual warning signs. So under 48 inches must be accompanied by supervising companion, whatever that looks like. Actually didn't ask what that meant in Universal's context. A brief wait time on this day because it was raining when we were there. And this is a billboard that you pass on your way in immediately. Keeping up what, if you're familiar with the Simpsons show, what the Kang and Kodos characters do. They always pretend like they're not really there to take over the world or to eat you, and yet that is, in fact, what they're looking to do. Little touches of humor here. Don't worry, there is still more line up ahead. And then I'm also taking a photo here. Warning, text sent from line must not have spelling mistakes. So, like the sort of bossy alien humor that they have in the show itself. And you can see some of the Willie and Buford kind of characters that are attached to each one of these tentacles that forms the outside of the ride vehicles. Actually, around the outside around which the ride vehicles spin. Another sign about attacking your fellow human beings. I don't really explain much about what that means, but that's what you're supposed to be doing on the flying saucers themselves. There's a bit of a glimpse of the loading zone, and then here is what the ride itself looks like. Now, you're not allowed to take photos or video from the ride itself, and it was raining, so we didn't actually step on board. We did, however, stop and watch for several minutes as these things spun around, and of course the alien spins as well. You don't always see him facing toward you. And we did notice that the saucers come with names like Frying Saucer and My TIE Fighter, so they're obviously customized in some level. And here is the control stick to move your saucer up and down. And then as we walk back out the entrance, not the sort of thing normally people would do, we see this there is no escape sign, ironically enough, because we are in fact escaping out of the front main entrance. And having a look back at that front sign, you'll notice that this purple, green and blue area in fact changes colors to reds and yellows and so on. Back over in the rest of the Simpsons area, I don't think I took a picture previously of these squishies, which is of course Simpsons speak for the slushes, wild cherry and frozen strawberry lemonade, I think it was, and frozen lemonade. And I don't think I took a picture of these posters up at the top of the Duff Brewery area. I'm not sure if they were there before. It could well be that they were. I just didn't grab a photo of them the last time around. On our way down the main Universal drag, we ran into these characters. Now, they didn't have the 7 p.m. Parade because it was raining, so they do make it possible for you to meet the chicks, by which I mean the baby chickens here, as well as the other characters from the parade. This is from the movie Hop, I believe it is, and then the SpongeBob character is a little bit down the road from there. Then the Transformers area had previously built, though I hadn't been there back in a couple of weeks, a little zone off to the side, on the back side of the building. So this is the Transformers building, this is the back side of the building, a meet and greet area for walk-around characters. So we had seen Optimus Prime there before, this is Bumblebee. Obviously people have able to take their own pictures. They have a professional photo there, and down the road from Rip Ride Rocket. And they've got quite a bit of a line set up in case people really want to line up to see the character. Switching parks over to Epcot, this caught my eye that the Guests Without Bags area is now closed up, at least on the day of our visit, and now this is the Guests Without Bags entrance area. The tables where they search the bags are over here on the left, so maybe they want people more over on the side here rather than escaping over to the side here without going over to the bags. And once inside, my older son, pointed this one out. This bench is a new style bench. You can see the old style bench in the background here and the new style bench with storage of some sort underneath. I'm not sure what exactly that's all about. Spaceship Earth appeared to be undergoing some manner of refurbishment, and part of it at least has to do with this sign. You can barely see it peeking over the top there. Obviously the standby and FastPass Plus signs, but it was the entire facility that was closed down. Speaking of closed down, the Fountain View, which was once the Fountain View ice cream bakery place, now just called Fountain View, as you can see, still closed down, still behind the walls, but you can see the Starbucks logo peeking out over the front of the main entrance there. And it advertises Starbucks coffee. I'm not sure how obvious it is from this sign, but from this angle, but this sign right here has got kind of aqua and green and blue shimmering details to it. And so that's an interesting update, a little bit more like Test Track. The Rose Garden area. This one's often deployed for playgrounds and so forth. What caught my eye here is not that it is currently grass. It's often that unless there's a festival going on, but they planted a row of hedges in a way that invites grass on both sides. I'm not sure why they would have done that. The Morocco building is under construction here. They're building a new restaurant to be waterside in Morocco next to that dock. Starting to take some vertical shape, as you can see there behind the walls, and we'll take a closer look at that later. In the meantime, we look over the walkway from France, as you can see, toward the International Gateway, where they are continuing the upgrade to the RFID turnstiles. Several people have reported that recently in this area, they've been testing new characters and new character performers. Now, we were in France partly to do the Agent P, the Phineas and Ferb cell phone game, where we had not done it in many, many months. And a couple of things I noticed when we did it. First, the gameplay now shows you all 4 or 5 games within the country. It takes a full half hour to do it, instead of just 3 quick things and then you turn your phone back in. Obviously, they've got lower demand and they can let people take a full half hour to do it. The second thing, and it's what I'm holding here, is a penny that's part of the game. They give you a penny, and then your cell phone triggers the penny press in the background, and you get an Agent P penny, squished penny from the France thing that is not available for purchase. It's not one of these things in the background. So you get not only a free souvenir, but a unique souvenir for playing the game. And it's pretty impressive that they're able to keep that going. Here's that promised other shot of the Morocco area. Now this is obviously hedges set up in the area between Morocco and France, as always, for the Food and Wine Festival. This appears to be a preliminary logo, at least. More of that construction in the background. And here's what the construction looks like in the foreground. They've taken away the water wheel and all those other design elements there. It's now all behind these scrims. Narrow walkway, and then the stage has been rebuilt over on the side here, on the other side of the Morocco exhibit, and you can see there's kind of a temporary wall in the background there. I guess they've changed out for some reason, the wall that they used to have leading to the backstage there. And then one more view from the reverse angle from the Morocco area. They've kept one tree here, and the building comes right up next to it, so they've obviously used every last inch that it's possible to use. We are over at the American Adventure, where the unannounced bathrooms, so Disney has still not announced what they are, but a friend of mine in the know has told me what is going on here. These will be bathrooms coming up soon. Take a closer look at them, and you can see they've got sort of the same architecture and style going on to them. This will provide a lot of relief in the area, pun not intended there, because there really is a crunch for bathrooms at certain times of the year. The Illuminations shirt that wasn't really labeled Illuminations kind of caught my eye. I thought that was a neat thing. And then we continue our tour around World Showcase, going over to the Germany Pavilion, where they've got a nice little area kind of laid out. It's not obviously geared up yet for Food and Wine Festival, but it looks like a nice area just to hang out, assuming the weather would be more cooperative. Now from there we go to the China Pavilion, where it was still raining, and so the performers performed inside, and I have to say it's an even more impressive show when you see the acrobats performing in the tight little spaces here. It looks a little bit dangerous actually in some cases. Things like spinning tables and so forth come actually very close to people's heads than outside. Okay, and from there we go over to the Norway Pavilion, where, as you saw, there was a little stave church model there, and then at the exit area of the Norway ride, this was formerly the perfume shop. It has now been reconfigured for a princess shop, and you can guess where this is headed. This will be the room, reportedly, and it has not been announced by Disney just yet, this will be the room that will be used as the meet and greet for the Frozen characters when that Disney movie comes out. They have an obvious connection to Scandinavia, and so it makes sense to have the Norway Pavilion be the housing for that. And so the perfume area has been condensed into the first parts of the shop as you exit the ride, and it doesn't have its own now. And then this is the Agent P issuing area back over in World Showcase. There was always a sign here, I think, but I kind of had the impression it was a different sign. Could just be that this caught my eye and maybe it was freshly painted or something. So this particular one, not necessarily new, but it caught my eye nonetheless. Definitely new, at least this week, was the fact that all the water was drained in this part of Future World. They do that on a regular basis. It might even be an annual basis, so I expect the water to come back relatively soon. It's a sort of annual cleaning that they do. Part of the things that keeps the parks fresh, and I'm sure they'll have the chlorine tablets in the water after the water gets added right back in. That does it for this week, Photo Finds. We thank you as always for your attention, and we'll catch you next time.